Hello everybody, my name is Dina and welcome to Unit 16, Lesson 2, the green screen and chroma keys. We've finally arrived at green screens. You must have seen this before online, in movies, or on TV, and if you've never noticed it, well, that means the editors did a good job. Green screens are used to create special visual effects in post-production by using a technique called chroma keying. Here, we will learn how it works, as well as how to use it in your editing software. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. First off, why are green screens green? And not only green, but often this particular shade of bright neon green. To understand why, we need to first understand how this special effect technique works. Chroma here actually means the color hues of your media. Therefore, chroma keys work by removing a certain color, making all of those places transparent instead. Since it is transparent, different things can be layered underneath, or your media can be put on top of something else. This action is called keying, or keying out. So in our green screen shots here, we keyed out the green background. Since keying takes out every single inch of that color from your clip, it's important to make sure your keying color is different from the main subject that you want to keep. Traditionally, when working with film, blue screens were used. But nowadays, with the rise in digital technologies, both blue and green are used across all sorts of projects. It makes a slight difference while filming, and they each suit different effects, but let's not worry about that now. Blue and green are used instead of any other color because these colors are not present in human skin. Like we said earlier, keying will take out the color entirely. So, if you were wearing something green in front of a green screen, then we key it out, your clothes would turn transparent too. To avoid this, you can simply change your clothes, and bright green clothes aren't that common anyways. But it's not like you can change your skin color. Since naturally there is no blue or green across all skin tones, using these colors as your backdrop will make sure you don't accidentally affect the people on camera when you key it out later in post-production. Of course, green screen uses don't have to be limited to backgrounds. If you want something to be transparent on purpose, this would be the way to do it as well. For example, it is very hard to film a TV or computer screen because they reflect light and can cause glares. A good way to ensure that the screen shows up clearly is actually to just use a green screen first and key it in post, so we don't have to worry about the issues that may come up while filming. Alright, now that we understand how it works, let's try it here in Vegas. So first, let's make sure we have a clip that includes a green screen on our timeline. If you don't have one already, go ahead and add that now. Using a green screen to composite, or layer, multiple elements to create a new image definitely counts as a special effect. So let's go to the FX tab on the clip here and choose Vegas Chroma Keyer. Add, and OK. Or you could navigate to the Video FX tab in the Explorer window, find it in Utility, and drag it directly from there. Once you add this effect, Vegas automatically sets the default key color to the standard blue. However, since we have used a green screen here, that needs to be changed. You could go up top to the drop-down menu and choose one, since standard blue and green screens have a standard color. But there is often still a difference depending on where you got your green screen and the lighting conditions when you filmed. For that reason, I always use the eyedropper tool instead. The default blue might interfere with the green screen, so first, I like to go and choose a random color that is as far away from green as possible, so it won't change the green color we need to select. I just choose like black, white, or red. Now, we should see the green screen as it is originally. Then, use the eyedropper tool here to get the color exactly right. So click on it, then come over to the video preview and click anywhere on the green screen. And just like that, the green is gone. Even though that took away most of the green, you will most likely notice that there are some imperfections in the key, like places where you can still see the green, or parts you wanted to keep but have disappeared. This is because it is actually super difficult to light a green or blue screen correctly. I won't talk about it too much here, since lighting and shooting with the green screen is a problem for production, not post-production. Just know that any sort of shadow or wrinkle that could cause the slightest color change on that backdrop will affect your key. So, you could go and make small adjustments to the shade of green in the gradient. But that's also what these other sliders in the settings are for. I can't tell you what to do exactly because each clip will be different. But here's a general guideline for those other sliders, the low and high thresholds. Before we start adjusting those, go down to Show Mask Only and check that box. We will talk more about masks next lesson, but now what you should see in your preview is that it has turned black, white, and gray. The parts that are completely black are the parts that have been keyed. So here it's the green that we just took out. The white is the parts that are unaffected and can still be seen. And any gray is, well, in between opaque and transparent. That gray is what we're trying to fix. A perfect mask would just have black and white. So, drag the low threshold slider to the right to get the green screen parts as black as possible. And then, drag the high threshold down so the parts you want to keep, our actors here, are as white as possible. Once you are finished and the colors look clear, go back and uncheck the mask to see your original clip. The green screen should be removed cleanly, leaving the actors on screen. Sometimes the edges where your subject meets the green screen can be a little harsh and make the key look unnatural, especially around smaller details like hair or quick movements like hands. To help smooth out the transition between the edges, you can adjust the blur amount until it looks right to you. Now the green screen is removed and your clip is ready for layering. If you are adding a background, just add it on a track underneath the main footage that we just chroma keyed, and it will show up just like that. Or, you could also go into pan crop and make your keyed footage smaller or bigger to fit your needs too. I'm sure you can imagine the endless applications for this effect. You can make anyone appear anywhere in the world, all while sitting in your room. You can pretend someone is standing on the ceiling. You can make someone the size of an ant or a giant titan. Green screens are so much fun to play with, so I hope you enjoy using this effect. Next, we will look more at masking, which I mentioned a little bit here. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!